every day is like Sunday. Share some grease tea with me, guys. What's going on? Dean's in the chat. Mike N32451 is in the chat. Howdy, Mike. What am I missing, folks? How's everybody doing? That was quite the Uncle Tony. I was enjoying that. What's everybody up to? How did the week treat you? How has it been? Did anything cool happen? Anything life-changing happen? Do we know? Do we know what's out there? Miss Olive Drab in the chat. Howdy, Olive. Barrow's Garage is in the chat. Howdy, Brother Bear. Mexican Spec is in the chat. Barrows are saying that was a bit different. Yes, yes. The mer people, the mole people, the melted building structures, obelisks. Envious Creations Car Club is in the chat. What's going on there, brother? How are you doing? Are you barbecuing this weekend, man? Mike N's Googling Star Forts. At zero, you missed Tony's live. He was talking about melted stone, and it's just another conspiracy theory live. It was a fun one. Abel D is in the chat. Howdy, Abel. Yeah, at zero, I was trying to explain to them your theory of ancient illegal aliens. Olive, don't inject logic into this. Don't do that. Don't be a buzzkill. Come on. Buff Del Campo's in the chat. Ad Zero was stuck in traffic from San Diego. Lovely. Unfinished is saying, hi, bye. I got to brush out my mule and get some beauty sleep. Have a good night, Unfinished. Get some rest, man. Thanks for stopping in. Check your fluids. Have a great week. Be safe out there, man. All I picked up some kind of bug. Think it's about done with me. Oh, yeah. That part's always rough because you don't know whether it's going to linger or if you're done with it or what. Buff Del Campo saying, is this a continuation of the UTG subject matter? I mean, if you guys want. I don't know. I'm unenlightened, but I used to listen to a little bit of George Norrie, but I never read much about the melted building structures. I've read about the World Fair a little bit, but to me it really strikes me as just really sophisticated carnies. Olive's asking Buff if the No Name Nationals went well. How was it, Buff? Did you guys get to race? Mexican Spec is doubted because Ari knows nothing about them. Ad Zero saying the proof of ancient illegal aliens being around 40,000 years before anyone else would make anyone whatever about all things. Dean saying exactly melted moments in the analysis of history. Ad Zero. What he says to you personally is for you personally. Buff is saying Kim raced her monkey bike. Well, that's something. You guys did you guys not have enough subscribers to race the car? Really? Abel D is saying we need UTG making a video in a straitjacket and a rocking chair talking about the World's Fair. That's going to be the next one. At Zero is explaining, see the sombrero. It looks a lot like the mothership. Does it not? One-Eyed Cat is in the chat. Unfinished Project is saying this channel will bring you up to speed on all the subject matter. Oh, the Valiant stayed home, Buff? That's what matters. I thought you guys were sitting there with the car and couldn't race or something. Dave Lewis is saying Dave's not here. Only Davey. All I'm saying, it's not a valiant not making it, and some of your trip there. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I mean, I was joking around saying that they had made their own Burning Man. At Zero saying they're illegal due to not being from Earth. Ancient illegal aliens. The tortilla as well is flat and round, similar to some of the spacecraft that you see today. Edzir is saying Old Man Gloom is the original Burning. Abel D's got a point here. He's saying the Watts Towers may be one of those structures Tony was talking about. Abel, I want a poster of the Watts Towers. When I get a shop, that's going straight in there. Buff Del Campo saying we drove it the day we left, but it wasn't ready. Had leaking power steering fluid from the pump and box. Oh, no fun. That's why I don't like power steering. It's just made to leak. At Zero saying maize or corn looks a lot like a rocket ship to him. Olive saying burritoid spacecraft have occasionally been spotted. One-Eyed Cat saying ran good mechs, only hiccuped once on the start. That's rad, Don. It must have been a good time, man. It looked fun, like I said. At Zero saying Old Man Gloom is from New Mexico. It's an old thing. I'm not sure. I just know Burning Man's like a weird rave that pretty much it depends on how much money you have. It can either be like Woodstock 99 or it can be a real good time. Depends on how much you throw at it, I guess. Abel D is saying, I've been to the Watts Towers, therefore they are real. Next time I travel to the hood, I'll take a photo for your phone's wallpaper. No, I really love the Watts Towers, man. Like, especially in the movie Ricochet. Adzir is saying, also a band of the same name. Mexican Spec, we know who we were told built the Watts Tower. We don't know if that's real information there. The history has been rewritten on so many things that we can't just assume that what we've read is correct. Buff saying it's a 51-year-old car that we never drove until that day. There's lots of unknowns in that car. Not good for a 185-mile trip. No, definitely not. At Zero saying Burning Man sculptures are completely awesome. Just looked them up. The festival, I care not. Mexican Spec. See, that's what I'm saying. It's what you don't see. You know, the videos show one thing, but it's you know, film is as much of what you see as what you don't see. Mexican Spec. That's what you're not understanding. One-Eyed Cat saying the best run was 10-1 twice, couple times. Blew the tires off. My freshly painted inner quarters are layered in rubber now. Nice, man. 10's nice. That's a pretty quick road toad, man. But yes, Ad Zero is definitely onto something with the ancient illegal aliens. And I'm going to let you guys disagree with me while I play with this hose clamp. Mexican Specs asking if you didn't have any mud flaps on it. You know they got that mud flap app, and it's supposed to be a fuel app for truckers, but I thought it was like a dating app for gay truckers called Mud Flap. I was wrong. Ad Zero saying the proof is out there, homie. Mexican Spec saying that's what it would have been, a Derek trip. We even joked about that. GTI Warrior saying, keep clamps on your hose? For shame. What's going on, brother? How are you? Dean Stevenson saying they make great engagement rings for the car-minded girl. I did some work on that 61 pickup this week, and this was the stuff left in my pockets. I got my old Proto screwdriver and a hose clamp. GTI Warrior saying life is good. How is everybody? I think everybody's doing well, brother. We Tony had a cool live. He was talking about a lot of conspiracy theories and different historical anomalies and everything else. And it was a lot of fun. Ad Zero saying went to the big air show. In fact, America's air show, as it was titled. That's rad, man. I saw some of the flybys from the last one. Barrow's Garage is saying I missed the show T-Bone and Naked Trucker. I'm unenlightened, Brother Bear, but that sounds like Olive saying probably should spring for the snap rings. But yeah, pretty mellow week there. Nothing crazy. Abel D saying that's our EDC screwdriver and clamps. Never thought of it. You can stop bleeding to a finger with a clamp. Mexican Spec saying an American living in Mexico did a video on the motels here that are for sex. I posted this comment. These places are dangerous. Exactly 18 years and 3 months ago, I was in one. On an unrelated note, my son turns 18 today. Terrence Seymour is in the chat. Howdy, Terrence. He's saying, even and all just got out to the shed to carry on assembling the 3L Hilux engine. Fitted the rings to the pistons and fitted the crank and pistons yesterday. So on with the head and timing tonight. Nice. That's a fun stage. Buff Del Campo is saying, I'm not a flat earth believer, but obviously we can all see that the sun is flat. Yeah, Buff's actually been up in the sky and stuff, so you know about the roundness. All I'm saying, Ford hose clamps have occasionally begun my finger bleeding. They'll get you. They will. Yeah, Mexican Spec is originally from here and moved down to Mexico. And the more I get to know Mexican Spec, I'm starting to realize that he did not move to Mexico. He was actually exiled. Landon Custom Classics is in the chat. Howdy, Cousin Mike. How are you, brother? Dean saying SR5 Hilux. I used one at Downers for my 9 years of road inspections. Damn, son. GTI Warrior saying nothing is worse than poorly cut zip ties. They'll get you too. Those things just drag you. Yeah, it's no fun. One-Eyed Cat saying have plans for next year already. Motor with 8 barrels, sure grip, and grippy tires. That'll make a difference, man. See how quick you can get her to go. All I'm saying, my friend sent me like a CV boot clamp pliers that works for those Ford rings. It's whatever you can do to get some distance. Buff Del Campo saying, we'll get the finger bleeding until it's tightened and it stops the bleeding. Ad Zero saying, going to take off and have some sleep. Long night became a long day. Working never waits. Right on, brother. Well, be safe out there. Make sure to check your fluids. Terrence is saying that it's much more fun once everything is clean and going back together. The bores were a mirror finish, so I should have some compression after a hone and rings. That's pretty solid there. Cousin Mike saying, Reverend Ari from the Believers of the Apaches, send him $1,000 and you'll reserve your spot in heaven. And it was on that day that the Apache truck came down to earth and drove down the road and absorbed all of your sin. Blessed art thou who walk into the Apache and away from the Ford pickup. Reserve your spot in heaven. Oh, a little bit of blasphemy. A little bit of blasphemy on a Sunday never hurt, right? Mexican Specs asking cousin Mike, did you watch the show on Netflix on how to become a cult leader? I was always saying that to that one of the fabricators I worked with at Ray's shop. I was like, dude, you know you'd be a really great cult leader, man. He was also a flat earther. Barrow's Crotch is saying blasphemy, blasphemy. Bufftail Compo's saying, where's your super chat button? How can we ever send you a grant? It'll be sent straight to the Church of the Apache. We need your donations tonight. Cousin Mike's saying, I haven't, but I'm trying to get Ari there. The Cult of the Apache. I don't know how it would go. I mean, I think I'd be kind of a cool cult leader. I could see it going out. We could go out more like the Davidians than the whole Jonestown thing. Definitely. Blake, Bad Tree Productions is in the chat saying, Ari, have you seen the ice wall? He was going off about the ice wall, Blake. And I'm sitting there working, and I'm prepping all this metal and everything, so I'm kind of bored, and I'm like, but why? But why? And I just kept with the but whys, and he was going off. One-Eyed Cat saying, need to head out too. Drove 600 miles today, 300 more tomorrow. Overnighting at Uncle Sonny's in Cleveland. Got to show him some time slips. Well, thanks so much for stopping in, Don. Drive safe, man. I'm glad everything went well, and have a great week, brother. Check your fluids. Blake, how was Burning Man? Burning Nationals. Burning Man Nationals. Cousin Mike saying Ari's got to post Cash App and PayPal stuff in the description. I don't think I could ever do that. All I'm saying, come to think of it, every time I get a special tool, it scares the Fords away. Maybe if they sent me everything, they're reliable. Sent me everything, the reliability would be perfect. Blake made it home at 5. Safe travels, saying it was fire. That's rad, man. Burning Man was fire. His dad joked the hell out of me. Damn. I'm going to take a second to recover from that. That's rad, Blake. It was cool you guys got all 3 cars out there. I'm sure I'll catch some videos before too long. I saw some shorts from Buck and a couple other people, but I didn't see too many videos of the actual drag races. I guess everybody's saving those for content. Olive saying if they made their Burning Man with tires, it could be Burnout Man. Buff Del Campo saying, so you saw Kim going to get creek water? Crick water, as the natives say. Rose Garage is saying, Blake, I see you got the gotcha trophy. Ouch, man. I'm unenlightened. I don't know what went down. GTI Warrior saying, nothing worse than when you have to buy the special tool for a job you do daily. And you won't do one for 3 months. Exactly. You're like, I need this, I need this, I need this. You buy it, and then you kind of, yep. Olive saying, yeah, Buff, better to approach from downstream to get clean water. I always think of Borat when he's getting the water out of the stream and the guy's taking a leak, like right above, upstream from him. Del Campo saying we overheated on the way to No Name Nationals. We stopped and Kim walked over to a creek to get water. That's all on a video I posted. That's another one. I haven't caught up on Buff's videos. Cousin Mike saying the believers of the Apache don't keep up with Wilburn Wood. That's kind of rad. You can actually just go to a creek to get water. I've never thought of that ever. I mean, gone to gas stations to get water, but there's no like natural flowing water here. Buff Del Campo saying I also posted a video of every car at No Name Nationals. It goes by quickly, but you can pause at every car. Bad Tree. Blake saying, you have to fly down. You have to fly over, brother. Take you down the track. That'd be rad, man. Like I said, I've only been to the one drag race, but it was probably one of the only places I felt like I kind of fit in. But you know what I mean? It's kind of a bummer. Not like a bummer. You know what I mean? It's like obviously, I got my crap to do, but seeing everybody go, you know what I mean? It would have just been cool to go and chill, hang out, talk some shit. You know what I mean? Have a couple beers, even if I'm not racing, and just smell some race fuel, listen to you guys fucking rev them up. Why not? GTI Warrior saying you're in California. You guys don't have unsalted water. Yeah, pretty much until you go north. You gotta go like 8 hours north of here. Cousin Mike saying, Buff, done that many times. Just don't let a frog get in there. Your car will croak. Buff is saying the creek you walked to was big, flowing, and clean. Nice. Yeah, I got to watch your videos, Buff. That sounds badass. Yeah, mellow day, mellow weekend over here. Nothing crazy. Was out with the family. Did some antiquing. I already have too much old crap, so I didn't buy anything, but yeah, I'm just chilling. Look, we got Auto Salvage Outlaws is in the chat. Howdy, brother. Let's get this turned around so we can see Hubie's cat. Look at him. Yeah, Hubie was saying and he really, he's so into 55 Chevys and he likes the number 5 that he wants to have 5 cats. So he's going to take the cat. Brian M's in the chat saying Lytle Creek has a freshwater river. Yeah, where's that, Brian? Buff Del Campo saying looks a little like my cat, Powerglide. That's such a great name, Buff. The planetary cat, Powerglide. Oh, he's a good cat. Hubie doesn't. I'm so entertained by that joke, and Hubie is not. He's like, no more cats, never again, no more cats. And I think it's to the point where I think I even got his kids teasing him about it. So that's kind of funny. I'm an ass of a man. He's a good cat, though. Make sure I'm still on live chat there. Beauty. Brian M. saying Lytle Creek is in San Bernardino County. Yeah, Brian, but would you want to drink water from Lytle Creek? Would you want to drink any water from San Bernardino? GTI Warrior saying if the cat starts a band, would it be Powerglide 500? Actually, it's got a ring to it. ASOs, who's calling you a troll? ASO, what did you do? Who did you get? Yeah, you got to go. You got to go to San Bernardino, then you'll understand. I mean, anything's. I mean, you got to understand everything. Everything from this state is filthy. Especially, I mean, up north. I'm sure that all the fecal matter has seeped into the bedrock. Buff Del Campo saying there was a reserved section in the bleachers for trolls. Oh, I would have been there with a bullhorn. You guys know me. I've always got something to say. GTI Warriors saying Powerglide 500 with their new single When Gears Collide. Cat. Licking Balls is in the chat. Welcome. Doing well. How are you? That's a great name. But yeah, lovely San Bernardino. Mexican Spec says, say it slower, Ari. Slower. Lower. Oh, man. Yeah, that was quite the Tony. Quite the Tony there. Buff Del Campo saying, your cat's name is Cat. I call him Cat. Buff, Buff, if you remember John Wayne, Hondo, calls the dog Dog. It's kind of like that. His name is Hank. My son calls him Ink, which I think is a much better name considering, how he looks. I think he looks more like an ink. Psst. There he goes. You see the glare on? Oh, man. Luis Corona is in the chat. Welcome, Luis. Yeah, nothing crazy there. So give me the chat. The cat or the chat? You want the cat? Finally, after all these live streams, finally someone that wants to take the cat. Oh, no. He would make your life miserable. He's one of those animals. He's like, I mean, the cat grew up with me. He's 10 years old. Give you a senior citizen cat. Oh, man. Oh, never mind. Then you keep him. Yeah, we're kind of stuck together. It's one of those things. Auto Salvage Outlaws saying, bring it to me, Ari. He'll take the cat. Cat, you want to go to Alabama? Do you want to keep the mice off the T-Bird? He's not even looking at me now. Brian M. saying that cat could easily live another 10. Don't curse me like that, Brian. Come on, man. Another 10 years of this cat? God. No, he's a good cat, but he's lived outdoors his whole life too. This is the most time he's spent really inside. So I'm surprised. They don't necessarily last this long. But again, he's a good cat. He's got cat longevity. Buff is saying that his other cat is 23 years old. Oh, man. Like my balls is saying, my cat is crazy. My cat is too crazy. You got to dope him up or put him in cat jail. Buff is saying she lives at the neighbor's house. 23 is cool, though. And she's still decent. 40 years old. What is it, a lion or something? You never know. Maybe you're all Tiger King over there. Yeah, this one's good. He's a good cat. Buff Del Campo was saying he's getting Skinny and slow. Yeah, he's getting a little. He's got a lot of white around. Like his head used to be darker black, but he's got a lot of white around there now. And he's just mellow now. He's like affectionate and stuff. Kalen Neely. He's saying, "Can you say my name?" I said it. Kalen Neely. Again, that's twice. I do not have a dog. I do not. I kind of wish I did. This cat actually gets along with dogs. He grew up with this is like Basenji mix kind of dog. So it was a wild little dog, but they would war up these, up the stairs and everything to my apartment, and they would have battles. It was really cool to watch. Good job. Thanks, Kayla. Terrence Seymour saying, I bought the most expensive, extravagant chocolate fudge yesterday and came home to find Mr. Greaves had sunken his fangs straight through it in numerous places. What a clown. Jeez. Buff is saying the cat's name is Peppy, but she's not very peppy now. 23 years is a long time. I don't know what that is in cat years. GTI Warrior is saying, say her name 3 times in camera and she DMs you. Bye. Bye, Kayla. My dog ate cats. Nah, he gets along with them. I mean, he's as long as they're not like a straight up like I'm gonna eat this cat type of dog. Like if they grew up around cats, like he'll play with them and he'll go mess with them. Like he used to run by my ladies when she had her little dog. He'd run by her, just really like kind of antagonizing her. It was funny. Like I said, he's a decent cat. I am in danger with him. Follow me to school. Growl at them kids. It's a good dog. Kevin Clancy's in the chat. Howdy, Kevin. He's saying, all right, great to see you. How you doing? I'm doing well, man. Just late Sunday night, same as usual. I'm here ranting at everybody, talking about my cat, saying people's names. Nothing too crazy there. How you doing, Kevin? Anything cool happen? Luis Corona is back. Welcome back, man. JB's little shop is in the chat. Howdy, JB. Saying, what the hell is going on here? Nothing, JB. Nothing, man. I'm not complaining about exhaust or nothing. The trash truck was looking great. That Richard Simmons makeover was a little out there, but it was still, it was a great looking truck. Looked like you guys were having a lot of fun out there. Lick my balls is saying, say lick my balls 100 times. What is that, like summon you or something? Like Beetlejuice? Abel D saying, all right, will you be doing shorts from work? Nah, probably not. I mean, I've been trying not to. I haven't been YouTubing enough lately. I've been trying to do another live stream a week. I did one on Saturday last week, but yeah, I haven't been doing too many shorts there. Auto Salvage Outlaw saying, damn truck is fast. The trash truck or my truck? Yeah, I've been trying to do some live streams during the week. I haven't got the chance. I usually want to do them on Mondays, which is when Cousin Mike does his, which is more important. So I've been trying to do another one of those. I got a couple videos I need to do. One on the truck, because I've needed to do a video on the whole V8 swap since I did it, which has been more than a month. And I need to do a video on that 61 Chevy that I've been working on, the other Apache. Lick my balls, I'm a diesel fluffer. Abel D is saying, all right, don't let the drone put you down. You stand up and get back on the shorts bike. Stupid drones. JB saying, finally settling in for the night. Saying, body's dragging after No Name Nationals, but it was better this year. Nice, man. Nice, man. Yeah, like I said, it looked like a lot of fun. I haven't seen much racing footage, but it seemed like there was a good amount of people there. I saw a clip of Outfits burning out with the Outfits Blues truck. And yeah, it seemed like a great time. I mean, needless to say, I didn't think it'd be a bad time. If it was a little closer, it'd be nice, get out there. But you know what I mean? It's like a couple days trip for me. Dean saying a Pinto with a 5.7 Chevy and the Apache pickup bay on the back. The strangest ute ever made. But yeah, I've got a couple videos to do. I definitely would like to do some shorts, but I haven't found anything that would be too cool or too entertaining. All of it's kind of monotonous, so I just try to stick to my guns of, just, showing that the truck's running, I'm still driving around, throwing some tunes on there. Abel D saying we get a break from Wilburn and his promotion of a no-name national. No such luck, Abel. What we're gonna get is a full 2 months of no-name nationals footage content, and then they're gonna jump straight back into promoting. We got Aiden A1K Gaming in the chat. Welcome, brother. How are you? From Mexico. Mexican Spec saying, now John is coming down to Mexico so I can show him some cars here. I hope he brings money. Yes, it's going to Mexico. It's going to be the no-name nationals. Nationals. Yeah, that. Aiden A1K Gaming is saying, I'm a Honda Ridgeline type guy. The Honda Ridgeline, the airsoft rifle of pickup trucks. Ligma Balls, I am from Southern California, the lovely land of palm trees and identity crises. JB's little shop is saying the Pinto that Blue Collar had was friggin' evil. That thing was scary fast, just right in at one time. I believe it. There's some, like I said, there was a bunch of great cars. Everybody was, no nombre nacionales. Nacionales? Or is it nacionales? That's actually catchier, Abel. I think my ball said, I'm going to find me, man. I'm a boring bastard. You can sit here with me and my cat. I was saying we looked at Ridgelines very briefly, carrying capacity like less than my Volvo. I actually saw a guy carrying a kayak in his Ridgeline, and he had some rig coming out of the hitch to support the rest of the kayak. And it was a little disturbing to see because it was a really nice kayak. It had radar on it. It was a setup. It was a real rig, you know what I mean? But I was just so thrown by that. I'm like, I felt like the kayak was worth more than the truck. Like my balls are saying, I'm going to steal your. No, don't steal that cat. Don't do that. Don't take the cat away. No. Buff Del Campo saying, I rode in UTG's bottle rocket. That thing is quick. That thing's badass. Aiden A1K Gaming saying it was to support his massive balls for driving a Ridgeline in public. I mean, it was funny. And this guy's, that rig that he had supporting the kayak looked precarious as all hell. And this guy wasn't driving like he had a load. He's up in the third, fourth lane, flying around and stuff. If you can get a dime for that cat, you've done better than me. Cousin Mike saying he can't steal Ari's cat. He'll pay you to take it. No, no, don't. I would be so sad without the cat. I'll pay nothing. Give me him. Cat. Cat. Is it too late for a rehoming? Nah, he's a. Hey, Nate Mayfield's in the chat. Howdy, Nate. How are you, brother? Buff Del Campos asking what the cat eats. He eats mostly dry food. I get him that the blue nature or whatever, because he likes it a little more than the Purina, I guess. But yeah, he's mostly dry food. And I always wondered why he preferred it to the wet food until one day I saw him crunching down a gopher that he had caught. And he's eating this thing and he's like crunching on the skull of this gopher. And I was like, oh, that's why he likes the dry food. It reminds him of bones. Abel D saying, cat eats better than I do these days. Nate Mayfield is doing well. Old Ford's down for the count. Blew a hydraulic brake hose. That doesn't sound like fun. Was it at least at a manageable time, or was it at like, or did your brakes fail you at like a terrifying time? It's never good to lose your brakes, but there's better times to lose your brakes. Dean Stevenson saying, I love a Spanish car company that Picasso? I don't even know what you're saying now. But yeah, Nate, I'm glad you're all right, man. I'm sure, I'm sure the truck will be back in commission soon. At least it was something simple. Ligma Balls is out for the night. Thanks for stopping in, man. Have a great night. Hopefully catch you next time. If not, just the same. Appreciate you. Lazy A-Hole Ranch is in the chat. Howdy, Alex. I came into crunching bones. Yeah. Yeah, Allie, my cat used to, he'd get these gophers, and my dad was so disgusted by this. He was like sitting there with the most like horrified, pale, about to faint look on his face watching my cat eat this gopher. But how you doing, Lazy A? How's it going over there? Anything cool happen? Did you buy another Geodome? Maybe a Ziggurat? Ligma Balls, I always stream on Sunday nights, really late on Sunday nights like this. Sometimes I'll throw in a Saturday afternoon. I'm trying to do something during the week, but I've been saying that probably for the better part of 8 months, but I'm trying to. Buffalo Campo saying mine is spoiled. She likes Frisky's pate, salmon flavor. She eats a little dry food, but not much. She was happy to have wet food again today when we got home. Yeah, Buff, most cats prefer it, but this one, he's warped because he's my cat, so I think that's a lot to do with it. Nate Mayfield saying, I slammed on the brakes for a truck that stopped and turned on his signal quickly. Had to swerve onto the shoulder to keep from hitting him. Hit the brakes and went straight to the floor. Okay, that's absolutely terrifying. I'm sorry that happened, Nate. That really sucks. At least it's just the flex line, but it's still annoying to have to bleed the brakes and everything else. I don't know. I've had a few good brake failures, and they're always not much fun. Lazy A saying, going good. No Ziggurat yet. I need one of those Devo Ziggurat hats. Chris Cadman is in the chat. Howdy, Chris. Howdy, Heidi. How are you doing, man? Buff Del Campo saying, ain't she'll eat a chipmunk sometimes. Yeah, this cat's ruthless. He eats lizards, gophers. I've seen him with all kinds of mice, some really huge rats when I lived in the beautiful, lovely golden city of Santa Ana. And yeah, what else? I'm trying to think what else he's got. The best one, he brought in this huge moth. It was like this bird-sized moth. And he comes in and I see something in his mouth and he like drops it like to give it to me. Like, hey, check this out. And just starts flying around my apartment. Huge. Um, I cannot read the Cyrillic. It won't allow me to translate it. But welcome to the chat. Glad to have you. Buff, I need your translation skills again. Chris is saying my dog farts out cats. Buff is saying, oh yes, a few mice, lizards. Abel, no, it's not a bot. They I think because some of my shorts will trend in the feed, and it'll tell people if I'm live or not. People will click on my live stream just from all over. We've been getting some new folks in here, but they're all real cool. So I just roll with it. What was it? When I did the stream on Saturday, there was a bunch of younger kids that jumped into the stream, and I was like trying not to curse and stuff. Felt like Fred Rogers. GTI Warrior saying, my cat just plays with the live mice before he kills them. Once they're dead, no interest. Yeah, not this cat, man. He crunches them straight down. Olive saying, Kitty just woke up here. She mostly gets lizards. Sometimes big moths or a little snake. Nate Mayfield's asking, how are you liking the new engine and transmission in the Apache? Nate, I'm loving it, man. This thing, I mean, it's so sweet just firing her up. Nice V8 sounds. The transmission, the SM420 is a much, much better transmission than that little Saginaw 3-speed I had. It's tough. It's geared much better. The gears are actually synchroed so I can downshift without grinding. It's a huge improvement, Nate. The Quadrajet still needs a little bit of work, and I've said this probably too many times. I'm sorry, everybody. I repeat myself. The Quadrajet needs a little work, and I got an exhaust leak. But besides that, she's just running great. I've been flying all around town, and just enjoying it. Cousin Mike saying, I'm just working hard. Brian M saying, I cannot picture you in the Fred Rogers sweater. I need a cardigan and I need the Keds. Abel D is asking, are you keeping a 2x4 or will consider the 4x4? Abel, I would love a 4x4 truck, but I don't think I could do that to this truck. You know, I like her kind of low, the 2-wheel drive. I think she's just meant to be that way. But it would be pretty cool to get a nice 4x4 C10 because I really would love to have a 4x4. I kind of need one. Cousin Mike saying, Ari's going to have to start wearing sweaters. Come along. Nate Mayfield saying 4-wheel drives are nice, but I love the stance of a 2-wheel drive single cab pickup. Yeah, exactly, Nate. It's just kind of, she's meant to be that way. But I really, really would love if I could get a similar year. I mean, it doesn't matter really. I would like a square body 4x4. I prefer the 60 to 66 body style, but I would take any C10 4x4. Chris Cadman saying, Ari, sandals, black socks to go with the shorts. Yeah, that's right. The 4x4 is, yeah, it's the K series. You're right, GTI Warrior, you're 100%. It'd be a K10 or K20. You're 100% there. But I would love one of those trucks. There was a guy, I think, a couple blocks down from me in my last house that had a 69, might have been a 69 or I didn't see the front end of it, but a late 60s, early 70s K20, and I was jealous of that dang truck. Mexican Spec saying, did I hear somebody say they needed a truck? Yeah, Mexican Spec, if you can find me a K10 or K20, but I doubt you'd find one down there. Well, I mean, not for a reasonable price. It's one of those sought-after trucks. Buff Del Campo saying Mexican Spec can get so many great vehicles. That's for sure. I would definitely take him up on a couple of them if I wasn't I wasn't broke, I'd probably fix my own cars, but but I would definitely like to buy one. Nate Mayfield saying, I always wanted a late 70s square body. Can't find one in even half decent shape. Bad rust. You know what? I saw a beautiful, I think it was an 80, 85 or 86 square body at Walmart the other day. I was going to buy, excuse me, I was going to buy some oil for that 61 that I'm working on. And I'm too cheap to buy it at O'Reilly, so I go to Walmart to save $3. But I saw this nice square body in the parking lot, and I'm sitting there, I'm ogling this truck, and the owner walks up, and he was a cool dude. He was talking to me for a while, and he showed me a Camaro he had, 69 Camaro. He had a 57 Chevy. I don't know what the designation was. I don't know if it was a 210 Bel Air or what, but he had a couple nice cars. But he started talking to me about the cruising for a cure that we have out here, and he was saying that they give out free prostate exams, and he was a little too enthusiastic about the prostate exam, so I had to kind of cut the conversation short. Mexican Spec say I can find a U.S. truck and send it your way. What is reasonable? I mean, I'm not sure. He's saying I just posted a 78 Jimmy, or maybe it's a Blazer 4x4 working. I would actually really like a Blazer. I would hope for something pre-smog over here, though, because I know it would be a pain in the ass. So pre-74 would be ideal. I don't know. Buff Del Campo say, Mexican Spec, the Matador I had was a 258 904 torque flight. The beginning of the fuel shortages, so I bought the 6. I got 15 miles per gallon. A friend bought the same car with a 360. It got 16 miles a gallon. Isn't that funny, Buff? I mean, I get like the same mileage with this V8 and the Quadrajet versus the 6-cylinder and that single-barrel Rochester. Abel D saying, Ari, be happy you didn't flip that tailgate and offer an exam. Abel, like I said, you know what I mean? I'm not touchy with that stuff, you know what I mean? Like I can joke all the day long, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I was in the store the other day. There's a guy I talked to a lot at the store who works there, and Marvin Gaye came on. I was like, hey man, can I have this dance? You know what I mean? I'll joke around all I want. That guy was weirding me out. I'm like, holy shit, I'm sitting here trying to talk Chevys. This old dude's trying to cruise me. Brian M. saying, for some reason, the GMCs are cheaper than the Chevy trucks. I'm not sure on that. Nate Mayfield saying, I like the Big 10 and heavy half version. Graphic stickers are so 70. Yep. Yeah, Mexican Spec. It's the same thing as my truck. I mean, it's a 4,200 pound truck, and they put that little 6-cylinder in it. It's kind of cruel, but they did it. Abel saying, all right, get 10 to 11 miles per gallon on my 4-cylinder Land Rover. It's the amount of mass needed to move smaller engines. Or yeah, struggle a lot more, definitely. Chris, I have not had the guitar out lately at all. Like I said, my guitars are up in Washington, with my Washington State with my brother. So I don't really have anything to strum. I've been tempted to order something cheap, but, GTI Warrior saying it must have been a Marine that wandered too far north. Did he have crayons? I didn't see any crayons. Did have a little wax in the teeth, though. Spencer's Drink Reviews and Chugs is in the chat. Howdy, Spencer. How are you, man? Mexican Spec saying, my dad had a white Big 10. It was smog exempt in California, 77 model. Mexican Spec saying, nothing to strum. There has to be a story about that. Yeah, Mexican Spec. I was working a lot. I was working out of town for like a better part of a year. I was all over the state, so I didn't have time to play guitar, and my guitars were sitting in my storage unit, which isn't climate controlled or anything, so I was like, these things are going to get ruined. I better just go take them to my brother's so they get used and they don't get ruined. But I, neglected the fact that I like playing guitar and I might want them again. Nate Mayfield saying, I had a neighbor with a 78 heavy half when I was a kid. He drove about twice a year. That's funny, man. Biannual drive. Spencer's Drink Reviews and Chugs is saying, doing good. How about you? I'm doing great, man. Just over here enjoying. We were joking around about conspiracy theories earlier because Tony was going on about a few some cool subjects, but they were a little out there, so I was just kind of poking fun at that. But now we're just yapping about cats and cars and prostate exams. Mexican Spec saying, "Oh, you didn't see my comment that the Jimmy is a '74 model, no smog and full convertible." Mexican Spec, how much were they asking? Mexican Spec, I did miss it. I'm thick as pudding. Yeah, GTI Warrior Shane. Usually Tony's on that conspiracy fact. He really he really does make a lot of great points. Some of it I haven't read into a lot. Some of it I have, and I always enjoy it just because it keeps me thinking. When the conversation's too boring, it's when I interject stupidity. So it's like if I'm not having to say anything stupid, that's usually a good sign. Nate's asking, not trying to be nosy, but were you able to find another job? We worry about you. Yeah, man, I've been doing all right. It's just been kind of up and down with that, and but I'm doing all right, man. I thought it'd be better to not discuss my employment on YouTube. I didn't want to worry people. You know what I mean? Because I'm kind of a screw up. I'm like 3 jobs a year, 2 jobs a year. No, I'm kidding. But just the same, yeah, I'm doing all right, brother. Chris Cadman saying, have you seen the UFO that sits over Tony's shoulder? Mexican Specs saying, imagine what Tony would be without Kathy to control. I mean, I think I really enjoy it. You know what I mean? So it's like, obviously that's something that that maybe needs to be separate from the automotive YouTube channel to some degree. But I think it'd be cool if he had like a platform where he could just rant on that stuff and not worry about offending so and so or being shadow banned or any of that crap. Nate saying, always here to help anyway I can. Too bad you're all the way in California. Yeah, man, it's kind of rough over here, but well, just being in California. But I appreciate that, Nate. Like I said, I'm doing all right over here. Nothing crazy going on. GTI Warrior saying, shh, don't let them know you see them. Yeah, I appreciate it, Nate. Like I said, it's been good over here. I'm so bent on getting out of the state that, I think my mind's kind of more on that than anything else, but got to escape this place. Buff Del Campo saying, I did lives with Tony for a year and a half. Sometimes Kathy was behind the camera waving like crazy and trying to shut him up. Yeah, Buff, I believe it. Those were cool live streams you guys did, though. Some of them were at the gas station and whatnot. That was always really great. Santiago Barraza is in the chat. Welcome, Santiago. Dean saying, I got great books as a kid, a sound foundation for the unexplained, but encyclopedias were the best. Sadly, the theories haven't really progressed much since 1979. That's right. The older encyclopedias are kind of sought after because they haven't been dumbed down, right? They actually have something in there. Buff Del Campo saying, so you remember those lives? Yeah, of course, man. I don't know if I popped into as many as I do now, but yeah, of course. Yeah, Buff was a great addition to the live streams. Mexican Spec saying that Buff told everybody that Mexican Spec's Instagram page was cool and he got a lot of followers. That's nice, man. Chris Cadman liked the Tony quitting smoking video. All I'm saying, I was annoyed about the encyclopedias being pretty out of date about science, though. I'm unenlightened. Abel's saying, have you guys noticed that DD hasn't really showed up to the UTG lives, or have I missed him? Seems like DD is hanging out with the Motor Trend boys. Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, you know what I mean. I saw him pop in a lot. I was never. I like DD Speed Shop. It's a cool channel. I just never watched that many of their videos. They did that Nova Gasser recently. I watched a little bit of that. There hasn't been a fire for a while. I know that much, but I'm not. I barely even keep up with my main subscriptions. Hell, I got Patreon subscriptions that I don't even watch. I'm an idiot. He's saying he's fortunate enough to have a sound Air Force guy to bounce stuff off of. I grew up with Army people, so we always talked about everything. Nothing was off limits. GTI Warrior saying, man, remember writing papers for school with only the encyclopedia for reference? We're old. I had a sit, GTI Warrior. I never did any schoolwork, so. Brian M. saying, my favorite UTG video is the one called Tag Job. I wonder why. Mexican Spec saying $12,300 includes transport to the border. Keep in mind, pre-1975 Blazers are worth $50,000 and end up in great condition. Geez, Mexican Spec, that's a great price, but I'm pretty broke, man. I don't think I could afford that. Nate Mayfield is saying, got to run, Ari? Wife come home from an out-of-town trip. Haven't seen her in a couple of days. Oh, I'll be like that brake hose if I don't acknowledge her. Have a good one. Good night, everyone. Hey, thanks so much for stopping in, Nate. You have a great night. Enjoy yourself, man. Have a great week. And make sure to check your fluids, brother. Always appreciate you, man. Mexican Spec saying, DD Speed Shop cuts apart innocent cars. Not watching that. Mexican Spec saying, sorry, Artie. Crowdfund, maybe. No. I mean, like I said, I would have to find one in the condition like I buy cars in, kind of effed up, and then I'd probably work on it, and then I'll have one. I don't think I could buy one outright. If I had that kind of money to throw around right now, I'd probably put it straight into the truck. Just finally go full kook with the thing. Maybe even get myself a dome light. Mexican Spec saying over 10,000 is shells. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad price. Better music tonight. Abel D's saying Mexican Spec, he's more respectful than Mr. Beast and Whistling Diesel. DD actually enjoys the cars. I mean, chopping a 4-door into a 2-door or whatever it may be. I don't know. I was always messing with him because he had all these Chevys, and I'm like, you don't have one 6-cylinder, not one. And he was talking about daily driving to 57, but it was LS swapped. So I'm like, cheater. Dean saying, I've kept up with science, which I just love. The key for me was universe formation theory and astronomy. But I did comparative religion and studied politics and money a while a heap. So that's why I joke. Throw me in shallow water before I get too deep. Chris Cadman saying, all right, just curious, how do I check my fluids? Usually urine color, Chris. Buff, I actually ended up selling that 6-cylinder to a gentleman, a local guy, who's going to rebuild it, and he's going to put it in his 52. I think it's a deluxe style line. It's some kind of line, one of those low early Chevys. It's a beautiful car though. He's got a 216 and a Power Glide in it, if I'm not mistaken. So he wants to build up the 235 just to replace the 216. I would have gladly kept it and just rebuilt it down the line when I had the money. All things considered, but I thought I didn't really have a place. I didn't really have a place to store it. I didn't have a place to disassemble it. And, I figured that would be kind of far out. So I thought that exactly, not getting wasted, it getting some use and going into a car that wasn't going to get ran like hell, was kind of a good outcome. Because I ran the hell out of that thing. And I was totally honest with him about it. I told him the condition of the engine. I sent him the video where it's knocking. Tom Brown's in the chat. Howdy, Tom. I still got to get that shifter out for you, Tom. Buff Del Campo saying the 216 had the dip oil system. That's right. It's not even pressurized. Yeah. The 216's kind of they're cool machines, obviously, but they're not the most practical in this day and age. Chris Cadman's asking if I'm in the gas station bathroom. No. How you doing, Tom? How's North Dakota treating you? Is it snowing yet? Yeah, I need to do the green screen thing or something because this office is white and boring, dingy and opaque, like I always say. Tom Brown saying, not yet, but the leaves are falling down already. That's kind of cool. Some color change ain't bad. Buff Del Campo saying, my brother had a 1950 Chevy when he was 16. Always had a soft knock, knock, knock. Yeah, that's another weird one for me, Buff, is hearing something besides lifters. The V8's kind of smooth and pretty quiet comparatively. Dingy and opaque office. Yeah, I need to put something up. Just a banner of my face. Dave Lewis is saying, like they say, anybody can restore a car. It takes a man to cut one up. There's some truth to that. Once you get into that metal work, it's a different world. It's a different world. I've done not a lot, but I've done a good bit of weird metal work, supervised, of course, so it doesn't really count, I guess. But just the same, a lot of crap I've gotten done that I'm pretty surprised about. Buff Del Campo saying he sold a 50 Chevy and he bought a 1963 Plymouth Fury, 2-door, no post. Damn. What a badass car. Tom Brown saying, a guy I work with is going to get a 1970 Buick Wildcat next weekend. 51,000 original miles. Beautiful ride. Damn. What is it? Does a 70 Wildcat's got to be the same as a Impala? I got to look it up. I don't see a lot of Buicks around here. There's a significant shortage of Buick, Oldsmobile. Not a lot of Pontiac either. A couple, maybe a couple Grand Prix or Goats, but Dave Lewis is saying did a lot of pro street cars. Dave's run the gambit. He does it all. Chris Cadman saying bodywork sucks until it's done. I don't know. I don't really want to change much, obviously, but it would be nice to get into the truck and do some of the sheet metal work. I'm capable of doing most of it. It might not end up perfect, but it would pass, So it'd be. I definitely want to get into the sheet metal work. My pops is always asking, why don't you paint this thing? Why don't you paint this thing? I'm like, got a lot to do before I paint it, Pop. A lot. Tom Brown saying 455 with 370 horsepower, 510 foot-pounds. Damn, 510 foot-pounds. That's like 460 numbers. That's cool. That's pretty badass. The only Buick I've really driven was I think it was a 425 nailhead off of my buddy's. It was in my buddy's T-Bucket, 27 T-Bucket, and that thing was pretty scary. And because I'm so overgrown, I was driving this T bucket and my foot falls asleep. And, with your foot completely asleep at that much torque, that's a pretty terrifying ride. Ah, ah! I look funny in the T bucket. I look like one of those Ed Roth monsters or something. I'm all, yeah. Oh man, DMX on the wedding playlist. These poor people selling their souls. If only they knew they could reserve a spot in heaven if they joined the Church of Apache. Teen saying Ed Roth, Beatnik Bandit. But yeah, I've been thoroughly enjoying that 350, and it's pretty dang. It's a huge difference. I accidentally did a little burnout the other day. I was like, wow, you know what I mean? Like that was completely unintentional. Buff Del Campo saying any engine in a T bucket is fast. Yeah, Buff, but that nailhead, that much torque with a aluminum T bucket, like my goodness. And it's got one of those crazy BOP 400s on it. That car has been in pieces for the better part of 5 years. Abel's asking how many stickers I've added for extra horsepower. Anyone who's sent me a sticker, I put their sticker on the truck. I think it's cool. I like it's like they have my back. Everybody, everywhere I go. I'm not even sure how many are on there though, but there's a good few. Teen saying Telegram, Sam, you're my main man. It's a great song. Stoic Steel's in the chat saying much torque. Many wow. A lot of torque. Oh man. Tom Brown saying love nailheads. Also the older straight eights. Two of my favorite cars is Corky Coker's 1939 straight eight Buick race car, or Tommy Ivo's showboat with all-wheel drive and four nailheads. I've seen the one with the four nailheads, Tom. I've worked on one straight eight, barely. I think it was it a 40 Roadmaster, something like that, 1940, and came in with a misfire, and all I did was file and gap the points, and it left without a misfire. So that's as far as I've gone on the straight eight. You're talking about Bauhaus now? Buff Del Campo saying nice simple old cars. Yeah, that was Buff. That was kind of cool, you know what I mean? Because working in a shop, that does primarily resto mods and stuff like that, that was kind of where I excelled, was just being the only one who knew how to mess with the antique systems. Which obviously didn't make up a whole lot of the work, but when something came around that was original, I was the one who got to deal with it. It was the same as that 55 T-Bird that came through the shop. No one else knew what they were dealing with. It's going, Buff. Able decent. All right, got to start some rabbit hole research as next Sunday will approach quickly and got to have some homework for Uncle Tony's garage. Good night and have a great week. Stay on those shorts, brother. We miss them. All right, Abel. I appreciate you, man. Have a great week out there. Be safe, man. Don't use too much gas in the Rover. I'm kidding. Have a great week, brother. I appreciate you always. Check your fluids, man. Tom Brown saying we built a straight 8 at my uncle's shop years ago for a land speed car. I had to regrind the cam 3 times because the cam would twist at high RPM and throw off the valve timing. Jeez, yeah, I guess it's like a 10-foot long cam at that rate, huh? It's like the same size as a Cummins. Buff Docampo saying, I think I watch all your shorts. That's awesome, Buff. That's pretty badass. Thank you, man. I'm always happy, you know what I mean, just because, my only hope is just, a little bit of entertainment, see something different for a few seconds or a few minutes, whatever, and then get on. I don't really have the knowledge or the the depth of knowledge to make a full-length video or anything that's kind of educational, really. So it's like, all right, just check this out and laugh a little bit. Was that Konida Ajbade? Welcome. Hello. I think I said your name wrong. I'm sorry. We got Shabina Ali. Said, hello, I like your accent, and the way you speak helps me understand what you're saying better. Welcome, Shabina. Thank you. It's a Southern Californian accent. I probably talk a little strange, but I appreciate it. Chris Cadman saying, I knew he was in shorts. Chris, I've wanted to do that for a long time, is just do a short in shorts, because I wear short shorts, but I don't want to scar people. Buff Del Campo saying, we need to see you going down the road in Arkansas or Tennessee. I would love to, Buff. It's a bit far off for me, but I sure would love to. I feel like it'd be more fitting to my lifestyle. Shabina's saying, maybe I think I should come to Southern California. The weather's nice. Tom Brown saying, I ran like crap until it got near the RPM we set the lobes at. It was completely different. That's pretty cool, Tom. So it just came on alive. Jay is saying, blink 4 times in a row if you're kidnapped. That was 5. I messed up. Welcome, Jay. Glad to have you. Justin Hill's in the chat. Howdy, Justin. Dean saying, the Southern California accent is much like the Gore Clinton accent we have in the deep south of New Zealand. Buff is saying, Californians have the TV accent. Everyone understands it. Olive saying, Ari was kidnapped by someone who can't count. That's me, Olive. I can't count. Chris Cadman saying, Arkansas and California shorts. Like I said, I love the South a bunch, especially all the soul food and everything else. It's like, I would go just for hush puppies, but it'd be cool to see everybody. Should be the same because of all the weather. Stoic Steel saying, I never noticed Colorado has an accent until my senior year of high school. Stoic, I'm unenlightened, man. I don't know if I would even be able to pick it up. Buff Del Campo saying there's every kind of food in Nashville. Yeah. Memphis too. Memphis has got some great places. It's like on my bucket list to go eat at Automatic Slims. Definitely on my bucket list. My brother's calling me. Sorry, guys. I'm buzzing on you. GTI Warrior said, I've lived in Colorado for 12 years now. I've never noticed an accent. Stoic Steel saying, apparently I don't say my T's. I don't know. Shabina Ali saying, but any other info about something on board? Well, I'm sorry you're bored. We're all bored. That's why we're here on a Sunday night. Shabina Ali said, yeah, Ali's my brother. We were Ari and Ali. They were very creative. Hey, we got the train coming through. Tom Brown saying, what gear ratio are you running in the truck? They're 390s in the truck, Tom. They've been doing some work on the track, too, so there's been all kinds of different machines. I don't even know anything about that, but there's been all kinds of different machines to lay the track. Lazy A saying Colorado for the win. Yeah, that place looks gorgeous, especially where you're at, Allie. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing like that out here. I mean, I guess you get up north. The 395 is beautiful near Mono Lake, Mammoth, and everything else, but it's like it's not all like that. You have to go to specific locations to see it. Chris Cabin saying you should try Detroit. They're 275 35s, if I'm not mistaken, Chris. Or Tom, sorry. 275 35s. Yeah, I believe. I don't even know what that translates to. I just know those are the same size I've bought for years. I was considering buying taller tires for the rear and just throwing the other ones I have up front, but I'm saying, why do you look up to see the train? Well, I mean, I can't see it from here necessarily, Buff, but the track is right, just right in that direction. Cools is in the chat. Welcome. You're saying, I crashed my car, no insurance. Don't like me. I'm going to flipped over. Now the cop's trying to shoot me because I have front wheel drive. I was dead. Good. I died. Good. Cools. It's not the easiest story to decipher there. I died. Yeah, I don't know. The train's real close though, Buff. It's right there. I'll be out by the truck at night, and sometimes the BNSF train's going down to Mexico. 15s, Tom. Excuse me. Buff Del Campo saying a new accent. Stoke Steel saying fever dream. Is this a dream? Is this happening again? Dean saying when he sees the room wall vibrate, the train happens to go shortly afterwards. Depending, the freights, the heavier laden in the BNSF trains, generally they will shake this place. GTA Warrior saying, damn, YouTube has gotten market coverage in the afterlife. We're getting there, man. Chris, it depends how many bindles we have amongst the hobos. And generally we only allow one violin playing hobo per car. Oh, man. Olive saying, darn, you need hobo quartets for the full effect. Shabina Ali is saying, sup? Not much, Shabina. Just over here, just chilling, talking to folks. We were talking about cars. We were talking about cats. We were talking about conspiracy theories. Things that start with a C, I guess. GTI Warrior saying, just remember, no group showers. Shabina saying, dude, why the F is there sus ads? What? They're running ads on my live? What? I'm not even monetized. They shouldn't be running ads. I don't know. Olive saying, kitty grabbed my sleeve. Now I can't see my hand. Chris is talking about lizard people. Yeah, we were talking about lizard people. We were talking about melted stone foundations, cast iron buildings, 6 cylinders. Oh, Shabina's saying, oh, in the radio? Yeah, I don't know. I was hoping they don't run them on my channel. You imagine that? You guys are watching the live stream and all of a sudden it cuts to a shake weight ad or something? Tom Brown saying, so 23 inches tall, should be around 70 miles per hour. 390 is 336 divided by 23. So 70 miles an hour right at 4,000 RPM, basically. Tom, that is more math than I've done in probably a decade. That's badass, though, man. Thank you. GTI Warrior saying, YouTube has been doing that a lot. They'll make money off your videos, even if they don't share with you. Shabina, he's doing an equation based off of the gear ratio of my truck and my tire size, which would equal what rotation per minute the engine is spinning while at that speed. Dean saying Tom Brown channels B&R race. B&R teaches me a lot. And I mean, I really should just go through his comments and like just write a lot of that stuff down because a lot of it's really helpful information. And it's not something that, I'm kind of dumb, so I don't really seek a lot of this stuff out, and I should. So, I appreciate it. I should really write it down. You should be saying, bruh, talking about cars. Yeah, that's generally what we talk about. Is mostly classic cars. We often complain about modern society. We talk about old movies. I describe the live. I usually put in the description. It's classic cars, Americana, and general nonsense. Tonight I kind of messed with it just because of the conspiracy theories. But Dave Lewis is saying I question the 23-inch diameter. The smart people are talking, getting the pen and paper out. It's good to understand things about cars and their engines. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Shabina, I'm kind of novice. I have a lot to learn, but there's folks in the chat that probably know more than I'll ever learn, like Buff Del Campo, and like Dave Lewis, and like Tom Brown here. Tom Brown saying HP Books, Automath Handbook by John Lawler. Shabina is saying, modern society, U.S. and my top things to study about, including the genders and racial discrimination that's going around these days. Yeah, the gender thing's weird. There's a lot of premise put on that. It seems to, for people almost use that to forgo having a personality. Mopar Man's in the chat saying, I see how you are, Ari. Yeah, I don't know about, I'm not sure about racial discrimination. I mean, I've not really experienced it. It doesn't seem to be as much of a problem as the media portrays it to be. But, GTI Warrior saying, unless I missed something, that equation would only give you the trans output speed. You'd still need to factor in the ratio of the current gear to find engine RPM. Shabina saying relatable. Yeah, it's different. You know what I mean? I don't identify with a lot of things I hear and see around me. I'm not judgmental at all. It doesn't. These are things that never occurred to me. So it's like I can't. I don't know. Buff Del Campo saying, I'm an airplane guy that works on cars. Kim is a car person that is an extremely good mechanic and troubleshooter. Yes, Kim is an incredibly clever mechanic. I think so, at least. Shabina Ali is saying, but also discriminating of cultures and religions of people too. So, to some degree, yeah. Yeah, to some degree, but I mean, it shouldn't be like that. You know what I mean? On paper, we're supposed to accept everybody. It's America, it's a melting pot. So I try to live by that. Like, do whatever you need to do to where you can live comfortably and happily as long as it doesn't harm anyone. I don't judge. I judge Olive. I'm just kidding, Olive. I don't judge you. Mopar Man saying, I don't like people who play the race card, a victim card. A lot of times, in the reflection, the mirror is hold that person back. Yeah, sometimes, Mopar Man. I've been accused of being racist. I was working security at a bar, and a guy was so drunk that he had lost his sandal, and he couldn't put his sandal back on. And that takes a pretty extreme level of intoxication. So I escorted him out of the bar. And he tried to say that I did this because he was some different. I don't remember what race he specified. But he described me as the white guy bouncer. And I'm like, I'm not even, I'm half Iranian. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Mopar Man. Oh, Dave Lewis is saying 23-inch tire is a small tire, Honda size, not a truck. I'm not sure. The metric measurements on the tires throw me off so bad. Buff Del Campo is saying drunks are always a problem. Yeah. I mean, I felt bad because I wasn't trying to be rude to the guy or anything. He was just too drunk to be in the bar. It's like, that's not safe. You can't put a sandal on. What if you fall down the stairs? Tom Brown is saying that is a 390 in the equation. He has a SM 420 trans. So top gear is a 1-to-1. You don't need that in the equation. If you have an overdrive, then you would add the ratio before the 336 in the equation. Chris Cadman saying, I'm Canadian. Sorry. Stoic Steel saying that is beyond 3 sheets to the wind. Exactly, Stoic. I'm pretty good about that, especially, if you're pretty drunk in the bar, like that means you've been spending money. So I don't want to bother, I don't bounce anymore, but I don't want to bother people. So it's like, it takes a lot. Like you really, really got to be messed up for me to bother you. Shabina is saying there's a lot of things for me to think about. Hey, there's something, Mopar Man's doing all right. Saying the back molar is acting up again. Just got the thermoquad rebuilt finished. Nice, man. Mopar Man, once I get a little bit of extra cash, I probably got to buy that Edelbrock from you, man. Shabina is saying I only mostly think about quotes and equations of Albert Einstein. I mean, Albert was an incredibly intelligent man. I'm unenlightened. I don't have much of an education at all, so. Dean saying Olive is Ms. Personality and not easily fooled. Mopar Man 1978 is a male version of Olive Draft and approaches things from the other side. Olive saying one should at least cultivate a character where he could be 86th with grace. 235.75. Yes, that's right, Tom. I probably went full dyslexic on you and said 35. I'm sorry. 235.75 R15. That's correct. That is absolutely correct. Sorry, Tom. See, I'm throwing him off, guys. Buff Del Campo saying, you ever have people drinking outside the door and have to deal with them? Yeah, that was a constant problem, as people trying to sneak out drinks and stuff like that. I tried to be really mature about it, but people always want to freak out. I don't know how many bars I bounced for, but I did that pretty consistently from when I was 19 years old until I was about 27. No, 28. 28. I still bounced when I was 28, but I promised myself not to work in a bar after the age of 30. I just thought it'd be kind of sad. Mexican Spec saying, stop blaming your mother, Ari. Shabina, I'm on an Android myself. I feel your pain. Buff is saying, I had that problem. I hated dealing with it. Yeah, people get so aggressive and stuff. It's like, why? Please don't put me through this, But for the most part, it was a really easy job. I just stood in a corner, talked crap, cleared pathways, stuff like that. But I don't know. For me, it was just an easy way to make money because, you take some money at the door or whatever, and then it's like I made as much working a weekend as I did at a normal job working all week. So I was like, all right, I'll just work on the weekends. I'll have my time to do whatever I need to do. But I didn't get anything done, so. Tom Brown's saying, so it's 70 miles per hour. I'm writing it down, Tom. Divided by 27 is 7. That is a bit better, Tom. The truck does a lot. I mean, it's a lot quicker now. A lot quicker. Of course, I'm throwing Tom's math off with my poor noggin. Olive, I have a tack. I need to install it. I got one of the nice little Sun Pros. Chris Cadman saying, ever been punched in the nose? Oh, ever had the nose punch? Yeah. Like, that's from my glasses, but you can kind of see some stuff that... Yeah. Got some good ones. The problem, Chris, is it's never one person trying to fight you. That's always the crappy part. Chris saying, all right, yeah, very laid back, Chris. I never, some people were like, just dicks about it. You know what I mean? They'd be up in everybody's business. Can't do this, can't do that. I was always just like, all right, come on. Cools is still dead. Cools, come back to life. Lazarus, come forth. Cools is still dead, guys. Aiden, A1K Gaming saying, what do you do for work? I work in a diesel shop. I'm a diesel fluffer, Aiden. So I'm at 2,600 RPM at 55. That's really awesome, Tom. I guess I could have ran the tack and figured that out, but there's actual math for this, so it's speed you're going times the gears times 336 divided by tire height. Yeah, Mopar, man. You're 100% right there, man. Like I said, angels watch over dumb things like me, so I think that's the only reason I never got my head kicked in. But it was a funny job, you know what I mean? I got to meet a lot of cool people. Um, got a lot of free booze, I guess. Aiden 81K Gaming saying, I was not expecting that answer. I pictured you as an IT guy. Aiden, I am so dumb, man. I could not be an IT guy. I'm like a caveman. Don't let the glasses fool you. Maybe coding Java or C. See, I don't even know what that is, man. Shabina went to see a few live streams right now. Nice. Anything cool out there? Probably something better than me running my mouth, I'm sure. But but yeah, no, Aiden, I work as a mechanic. Most recently in a hot rod shop on classic cars, and but now servicing diesels, fleet. But yeah, mechanical stuff. I've worked as a plumber. I've worked as a security guard. I've what else? Unloaded trailers for a long time. Delivered packages. Um, all kinds of crap. Chris Cadman saying he changes spark plugs. Exactly. Buff Del Campo is saying that he just sent me a spreadsheet for figuring speed, RPM, and gear ratios. You'll figure it out. Thanks, Buff. I hope I do, man. You'd be surprised. But yeah, I need to install that tack. I have a lot of wiring to do on the truck. I want to do the front suspension, then I want to jump into the wiring and just kind of work on the interior of the truck. After 10 years, I think it's safe to I think it's safe to actually get my gas gauge working. Shabina's bored. Yeah, I feel you. I don't know if it's Sunday night where you are as well, but it's a boring Sunday night. This is usually what we do. Olive's saying, I think those trucks demand horse blanket seat covers. Yes, definitely. I need to get one too. I'm so cheap. I'm so cheap. I don't want to like spring for one unless I think I have to go to Tijuana and buy one. Just because it's probably the only place I can find one I like. Aiden saying diesel mechanics are cool. We have one at our job. He uses a large mobile abrasive sandblast unit vacuum system for abrasive blasting highway overpasses. That's pretty badass, Aiden. Is that what you do for work? Do you you deal with concrete and everything? Stoic Steel's out for the night, saying later, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping in, Stoic. Always appreciate you, brother. Please have a good week. And check your fluids, man. Buff Del Campo saying Mexican blanket seat covers. I love those things. Yep. Aiden saying sandblast and paint bridges. That's pretty rad. You said concrete, but are there steel bridges as well? Is it just a blend of both? I'm unenlightened, man. Mopar Man saying there's a place on Google search that sells different colors Mexican saddle blankets for $8 and some change plus shipping. Cools is saying Prowler sound effect MP3. Aiden saying no steel. We sandblast off lead paint and repaint them. Lots of diesel equipment. Yeah, I'm sure everything runs off of it. That sounds like a pretty cool gig, though. I mean, as long as you're masked up, right? Shell is in the chat saying hi, Ari. Howdy, Shell. How are you? Olive's saying, should I feel old that on TV they're playing a Danzig tune to advertise side by side? Which Danzig tune, Olive? They just playing Mother or what? GTI Warrior saying I get mine from a local gas station for about $12. Yeah. See, I mean, I'm picky about it. I don't want to have the same ones they got at the swap meet, so I got to go to Tijuana and pick one up that's a little harder to get. Mexican Spec saying those aren't Mexican blankets. Buff Del Campo, I was told in uncertain terms, a Mexican blanket has a tiger on it. Olive saying, yeah, I think it was Mother or something from the first album. I think Danzig 2 is the one though, Olive. That's the one where he got like super Elvis-y. Olive, I think the new, it was like ZR71 or whatever, the new off-road Chevy commercials got the Stooges playing. It's got Down on the Street playing as the background music, and they're like kayaking, they're like whitewater kayaking, and they got Mopar Man saying Ari needs a Serape. I used to have one in there. I don't know why I took it off. So see, anytime I change anything on the truck, I'm just like, nah, just leave it the way it is. Like, why did you change that? Yeah, Mexican Spec knows what I'm talking about. Like, the deeper you get into Mexico, the better the blankets are. GTI Warrior saying, Ari, if you want those, Ari, we've got a flea market here where you can find them. Fresh roasted hatch chilies, too. Yeah, geez. I mean, that would be pretty rad, especially if they're actually made on the reservation or something. You know what I mean? The native ones are really nice, too. Buff Del Campo saying, I was very upset when I bought a Mexican blanket in New Mexico at a trading post and it was made in China. I later bought one in a store in Arizona and it was made in Mexico. Yeah, that would be kind of a bummer, Buff. Shabina Ali saying, Ari, are you planning on upgrading, fixing, changing parts, or tuning it? Definitely, Shabina, as much as I can. I replaced the engine, the transmission. It's got a new drive shaft in it now. I need to do a lot of work, but definitely as time and money allows, I'll fix everything I can on the truck. It still works really well, but it needs work. Cools is on fire. How you doing, Shell? How did the week treat you? Olive saying all the hippie shops had them. Tom, I originally had the one-piece shaft with the 3-speed, but because the SM420 is so short, I had to go with the 2-piece. But I kept the one-piece just in case I want to run a Saginaw or a T5 or something like that, because I have both. GTI Warrior saying, Dean, the young hippies still wear the Mexican blanket hoodies. Yeah, the poncho hoodie. Yeah, Buff is asking if it's the 2-piece has a center support. Yeah, it sure does. It's got a little slip yoke and a carrier bearing and the bushing support. I was laughing because I was I pulled the drive shaft off of that 62 pickup, so I knew it was the exact same frame. I knew it would bolt into place, but I thought I would have to drill the two holes for the support, for the center support. But I reached under the truck and they were already on there. It was like, it was one of those rare moments, you know. Rich GT350R is in the chat. Howdy, Rich. How are you, brother? Olive saying hoodies have always tended to make my hair go all Bride of Frankenstein. Frankenstein. It's got to be a fun one. It gets Dean saying it gets my Mooney gets translated to real on Food Nerd Post. Isn't that weird? Buff is saying center support drive shaft will be smooth. It sure is, Buff. It was not cheap. That drive shaft by itself is the single most expensive piece of that entire swap. Tom Brown saying a two-piece may run smoother because your shaft critical speed will be lower. I didn't have any driveline vibration before, but I still don't, so I'm assuming that's you know that's a good thing. But I mean, I had the other drive shaft balanced, and I'd had the U joints changed probably 8 or 9 years ago. Jeez. Time flies, huh? But it ran smooth. I never had any issues with that. The reason I had to have it redone was because at one point I got the truck running again, probably my first couple of years of ownership, and I did a real mean burnout, and I threw one of the caps off the U-joint, and I drove it home without the cap, so I had to have the drive shaft serviced. Aiden saying, serious question though, I just replaced my radiator because my car was overheating within about 5 miles and would lose all coolant. Now it goes about 30 miles and will start overheating, but all the coolant is in the overflow tank under the reservoir. Aiden, I mean, sounds like maybe the thermostat ain't opening up, or maybe you need to burp the system. I would pop the thermostat out and drill a hole in it. I think that might be a good way to go. Puff Del Campo saying, the first time I saw Uncle Tony's garage, he changed a U-joint. He used a rock for a hammer. See, Buff, you know what I mean? That's just somewhere I haven't ventured, and it's like I'm sitting here thinking it's more precise than it is. I'm worried about micro vibration and crap. GTI Warrior saying, I used to have a K10 that would throw the drive shaft weekly. Aiden, I would check the thermostat out, and you can test them with a torch or a heat gun to see if they open or not. Or you can just replace it outright. They're not very expensive, but I always drill an 1/8-inch hole in the thermostat, and that seems to help. Does that truck have leaf springs in the rear or long? It's got the trailing arms and coils, Tom, and it's got the torsion bars up front. Yes. All I'm saying, U-joints will usually sit where they want to go. People would lose a lot of them back home. Yeah, Aiden, Aiden, I mean, I wouldn't assume a head gasket. You could check your dipstick, oil dipstick, see if you see any oddness there. But I would just, my mind always goes straight to the thermostat because that's been a pain in the ass for me in the past. Yeah, Mopar Man saying, or put the thermostat in a pan of water and heat it up using a thermometer. Yeah, Mopar Man, I've always used a torch or the heat gun, but it's Rich is saying I'm a quart low. I need to run a fan shroud on this truck now. She gets warm. Buff is, yeah, Buff, that's definitely much more precise than a torch. Tom Brown's got a point here. He's saying, Aiden, does it have a clutch fan? The clutch fan may be bad. I've got this like one of those wannabe flex fans on the truck, and it's so funny, but now that I don't have the loud lifters of the 6-cylinder, I can actually hear the fan. Aiden's 2014 Cadillac CTS, I'm not sure. Chelsea and my fluids are just fine. Gotta make sure to hydrate. Mexican Spec saying, I'm drinking water as we speak, adding fluids. For those that don't know, that's something I say on the channel, is just check your fluids, because earlier on when I started doing videos, we had I think it was a pinion that seized inside a transfer case, in a Bronco transfer case. I forget the number of the case, but because no one had checked the fluid. So check your fluids. And I also had a brake failure. There was a few things where checking the fluids would have helped me figure it out before it had gotten to complete failure. Mopar Man saying, I run a late 70s Mercedes-Benz clutch with the Mercedes-Benz clutch fan on his 225 with no issues. Mason Davis is saying, I saw you at Walmart getting milk. Mason, I would never get milk at Walmart. I only go there for oil. Welcome, Mason. Buff Del Campo saying, generally overheating at low speeds is a fan problem. Overheating at high speeds is usually a radiator problem. Overheating all the time is usually a thermostat. Yeah, Buff, I definitely need a fan shroud on the truck. I would love to run an electric fan. Tabo Garage is in the chat. Welcome, brother. I would love to run an electric fan, but I'm bougie and I want to buy a Spall fan. So I'm waiting until, I'll have to put my pennies away. Hopefully, maybe I'll lose a tooth or two. The tooth fairy will come. I'll have enough for a Spall fan. Mexican Spec saying it's going to get up to 109 down there. That sounds pretty horrible, man. Shabina Ali is out for the night, saying bye. Have a good day. Well, it's night over here, Shabina. Thanks so much for stopping in. Really appreciate you. Hope you have a great week. Be safe out there. Check your fluids. GTI Warrior saying, Aiden, when it gets up to full temp, squeeze the upper radiator hose. If it squeezes easily, the thermostat is probably not opening. Buff Del Campo saying, Tooth Fairy is a great income source. Yeah, Aiden, I would go straight for that thermostat. I don't know if the housing's in some horrible spot. Newer cars tend to be more difficult, but I would definitely check it. You know what I mean? That way it's as easy as, draining a little bit of coolant, and it can't be more than a few bucks for the thermostat. So just little stuff, you know what I mean? And GTI Warrior just gave you some good advice there as well. Buff, he was saying it's a 2014 Cadillac CTS. Opar Man saying, all right, take a measurement of the bolt pattern where your water pump, where the fan bolts up, and compare it to the one in your slant 6. If they are the same, I'll send you the info on this clutch fan. All right, brother. I'll probably be quieter than that flex fan I got on there. Flex fan. It's not even really a flex fan. Mexican Spec saying, Ari, I'm going to be trying to buy a few Beetles. I have to go look at a black one. Fun times. Mexican Spec, I know nothing about Volkswagens. I've never really gotten to mess with one. I mean, I've taken the body off, like off of one. That's as far as I've gone. Rich is asking Shell if she's stalking him. Said, just asking. Dave Lewis is saying, air trapped in the system. I use a vacuum fill system on everything now. It's really a good way to go, Dave. Instead of the caveman stuff, just eliminate the variable. Shell saying, absolutely, Rich. Dean pays me well to stock you. Tom Brown is out for the night. Saying, have a great one. Thanks so much for stopping in, Tom. I should be able to get that shifter out to you sometime this week. I have to go to storage, pop it off the transmission, and then get it in the mail. I still have your email archived, so I'll be able to get it your way, man. And again, always appreciate you stopping in. Thanks for the info on the gearing. And have a great week, brother. Be safe out there. Check your fluids. Rich is saying, Dean, let it go. Buffalo Campo saying, I know about Volkswagen. They sound like chains dragging down the street. Yeah, they do. They really do. I saw a few nice ones today, though. I saw a really nice, like, lowrider style bug with this beautiful, like, candy tangerine paint on it. And then I saw kind of a ratty Carmen Ghia that was still really nice. And then a really low Volkswagen when I was in the orange circle down here. Shell saying, Rich, I'm really stocking Charlotte. Yeah, the Volkswagen, I mean, I like them. You know, I like the Ghias a lot, the Carmen Ghias. But Beetles and buses, they don't have a huge appeal to me, I guess. Tavo Garage is saying, as much as I love my Valiant Ute, I'd swap it for a running Beetle any day. I mean, whatever you prefer, I guess. You know, that what I drive every day, most people would not prefer. So it's like, GTI Warrior saying a VW VR6 has the best stock engine sound. I'm unenlightened, Chris. I'm unenlightened. Yeah, Buff Del Campo saying I like the Myers Monks dune buggies and the Carmen Ghia. Yeah, those things are pretty cool. The dune buggies are great. Chelsea, and turnabout is fair play. Are you stocking me, Rich? Yeah, like I said, you know what I mean? It's not something I've messed with much, either vintage or modern. I haven't touched a lot of Volkswagens, you know, and I know they're uniform, and once you kind of get a grasp of what you're dealing with, they're very easy to work on, but I just never got there. Like low growl, I don't like. Following V10 engines have, like sewing machines. I like the V8 sound, definitely. I think, you know, I mean, I think the inline six is probably still my favorite. But, but yeah, I really do like the V8. Inline six, split exhaust. Call me an ass, but my ears like it. You're just saying I don't stock anyone without my fangs. Shell saying Rich is just hoping I'll let him drive the Hemi Cuda. Mexican Spec saying the 1988 VW vans from Mexico have a water-cooled Golf engine so they can keep up with traffic. I'm trying to find a nice one, but no luck yet. GTI Warrior saying V10s are very cool for the power. The VR6 is the 15-degree single-head V6. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up, brother, so that way I'm not just in the dark here. It's down. It's written down. Shabina Ali is back. Welcome back. Justin Hill, Zach, is back in the chat as well. Howdy, Justin. He's saying, how's everybody doing? Doing well, Justin. I'm just over here yapping. It's getting late in the evening, but, you know, I'm just enjoying talking with everybody. How are you, brother? Mopar Man saying, by the way, if anybody wants to know, excuse me, saying the Mercedes-Benz fan clutch combo is from a 77 280 SC. I bought them from Parts Geek, not Rock Auto. I'll write it down. Justin Hill's getting ready for bed. Yeah, me too, man. No, I'm all right. See, Olive saying, okay, I think I got to fade out myself. Night, everyone. Have a good week. Thanks so much for stopping in, Olive. Always appreciate you. Hope you're feeling a little better, and I hope you have a great week. Check your fluids. Shabina Ali saying, maybe, Dean, you should buy a rotary engine. I've heard that they're pretty efficient and fast, but I do not know anything about the price. Dave Lewis is saying, I'm building a head of 180-degree headers now for a small block Chevy. They will kill your ears when they tune in at about 5,500 RPMs. It's pretty badass, Dave. The last welder we had at Ray's shop, Dave, he was real good with the headers and exhaust as well. He did some really good stuff. I still have his card too, so bug him. Buff Del Campo saying V10s are weird. Some fire every 72 degrees like Fords, and some fire every 90 degrees and 54 degrees. Then 90, then 54, then 90, like the Dodge. That's pretty trippy. I didn't know about that. I know that a lot of V6 engines have that issue because they're supposed to fire every 90 degrees, but they have to have like the Hondas have counterweights and stuff. Tavo was saying, I'm doing about another 7 hours before bed. What time is it over there, Tavo? Shabina is saying, oh, just buy a Mercedes-Benz T80. Justin, I've never been to the No Name Nationals. I missed it. I missed it last year. I was starting a new job. And I missed it this year because I was starting a new job. Probably says more about me than anything else I could say. Rich is saying, sorry. I'm sorry, Dean. You missed it. Tabo saying it's just after 3 p.m. I don't even know what time. I haven't looked at the clock. It's 10:44 over here, about almost 11 p.m. So Shabina's saying, okay, I'll try to simplify what I say. You don't have to. Did I mess it up? That's probably me, not you. Shell saying, Mopar Man, we really watched midget wrestling. It's 12:44 for Buff. Justin Hill's asking if I know a lot about vehicles. Not much, Justin. I mean, in my own capacity, I do all right, but not much, especially compared to a lot of the folks in here. Shabina saying it's 5:44 p.m. Where are you located, Shabina, if you don't mind me asking? Justin Hill saying 11:45 here. Dean saying 6:44 p.m. on Monday. Futurino, Dino Futurino. Oh, you guys are classic. Shabina's saying we're, oh nice, we're only 1 hour apart, Dean. That's a whole other side of the world. That's awesome. That's awesome. I've not really been anywhere but here. I've been to Arkansas once. I've been to Washington State a handful of times. Been to Mexico. Barely even been to Mexico. I've been to Baja. Fiji. That's pretty dang cool. Again, I've been here, lovely Southern California. Justin Hill saying come to Idaho. I wouldn't mind, Justin. Cousin Mike's always asking me, and then brother Barrow's Garage, well, Kim. They've asked me a couple times to come up. It's just, if I could get my crap together and move, I'd probably do it. Buff Del Campo saying Fiji, that's cool. He's asking what cars do they have there? Asking. What I always say that saying instead of asking. It's not good English. GTI Warrior saying Dean is a time traveler. Don't let him lie to you. I know, brother. He knows the future. Yeah, Shabina. He's a Kiwi. Dean's he's Kiwi Dean. Say it right. Tabo Garage is saying some Aussie cars went to Fiji going way back, like when we made cars. Excuse me. Terrence is saying, Buff, Fiji had all the same cars as New Zealand and Australia back in the day. Fords, Chrysler, GM, and Holden. Yeah, Justin, you're saying Mike's your brother-in-law. I've caught you on his live a few times. I just, Shabina's saying, we have a lot, bunch of cars. Dean saying, because I love Fiji, my wife's brother is married to a lovely Fijian lady. He lives as far south as you can go. Invercargill? I'm so unenlightened. Shabina's saying Prius, Honda, Mercedes, they're pretty rare and a lot more. Yeah, Dean's definitely a time traveler. He knows. Shabina's saying, "Gotta go. Be back after an hour." I'll probably be offline by then, Shabina. But again, thank you so much for stopping in. Justin, I'm a mechanic. I was working on hot rods for a while. I work on diesels now. I've been doing some side work on a buddy's 61 Chevy, just stuff like that. Not very good. But again, in my own capacity, I get some stuff done. Buff, it's a 61 Chevy Apache 10. It's pretty much the exact same truck as mine. I put up a picture of it in my community page. I'm going to try to do a video tomorrow. I'm just so horrible with that. Horrible. But it's a 61 pickup. Yeah, 61 Chevy Apache 10. So it's the exact same truck as mine. The only difference is the grill and the little the hood inserts. Tavo Garage is saying, here's another spot of useless trivia. Aussie Valiants were also built in Pakistan from CKD kits. A Pakistani Valiant? That just sounds destined for failure. I'm sorry, Tavo. That does not sound like a... There's not a lot of cars I would turn my nose up at, but man, that does not sound like... Oh, man. GTO Warrior saying, and about a foot of ground clearance. Yeah. You can kind of see in that picture how low the truck actually is. People think, oh, it's not slammed or whatever, that it's not low, but my truck's pretty damn low. Shell's saying, telling Dean that they just had a tropical storm pass through. Wasn't freaky, was it? Was it, like, I mean, nothing like broke, right? Justin Hill's out for the night. Thanks so much for stopping in, Justin. I know it's a late night, brother, but always glad to have you in here. Hopefully I'll talk to you soon on one of these live streams, man. Have a great week. Check your fluids, man. Buff Del Campo saying old Soviet cars are a little rough as well. Oh, what are the Laras or whatever? What are they? They have some kind. They've got a name. What was that the one Soviet company that made everything was Ural? Yeah, Ladas, Volga, both. Hey, hoo, yeah. Volga boat song. Hey, hoo, yeah. See, that's how you know I'm. That's how you know I'm out of it. We fell the stout birch tree. Buff Del Campo saying Ural is a motorcycle. Buff, I saw this post a while back. They made guitars too, and someone posted this Ural guitar, and I commented that it was a Commucaster, and people really liked that comment. I wish I could find it. GTI Warriors talking about. I've seen a couple Garage 54 videos. They're funky. Buff Del Campo saying I rode in Ladas and Volgas in Russia. What was it like, man? I've got so much curiosity because it's like you hear nothing about the place outside of like, you know, you hear nothing about the place, and it's like real rich in history, obviously. Dean saying unfinished project said a nasty storm was coming through. I keep reading about them. Ever since I searched the one that was down here, they've been kind of pushing them on my news feed. Tabo Garage is saying Ladas were sold in Australia for a short time anyway. Those are funky looking cars. I've said it before, but there used to be Iranian produced AMC Ramblers. And there was two models. One was called the Shaheen, which was like the higher end, and then there was the Aria. And Shaheen is my uncle's name, and Aria is my name. So I thought that was kind of funny. I thought, even though I'm half Iranian, I'm still white trash enough to be named after a car. GTI Warrior saying a $35,000 barn find GTI. I need to win the lotto immediately. Buff Del Campo saying the worst were the buses. I was in a bus that had a big spiderweb crack in the window. They put a bolt through the hole with little plywood patches on either side of the glass. That sounds not fun. Dave Lewis is asking if Ford tried to build cars in Russia at one time. I wouldn't know, Dave. Tabo Garage is saying Iran built the British Hillman Hunter for a long time too. It's kind of a shame, you know what I mean? The country used to be, pretty dang westernized and, head in manufacturing, trying to get, ahead. But I don't know. I don't even want to comment on that, I guess. I don't know anything about it. But yeah, guys, I'll GTI Warrior saying if only I was loaded. Me too, man. Me too. I'd buy some stupid crap. That's probably why I'm not loaded. Like, what did Ari do with all of his money? He did his own production of Oklahoma with only him acting every part. That's why I don't have money. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. We're getting closer to 2.5 hours here, and my eyes are half asleep on you. I look stoned, and I'm not, so that's that's a bad sign. But yeah, it was a great live stream. I appreciate everybody stopping in. I appreciate you guys staying so late, and it's been a fun chat. I've learned a few things, more than a few things, just like usual. And GTI Warrior saying I could do that for free. Don't give me ideas, man. But yeah, it was a cool live stream. Thanks so much for everybody stopping in. All the conversation's great. I hope everybody has a great week. Be safe out there. It's a weird world. All kinds of crap happens. 1 minute you're just cruising, la-di-da, boom, drone in your face. So, all kinds of things can happen. But seriously, thank you guys. Be safe out there. I appreciate you always. And check your fluids. GTI Warrior saying drain your fluids. I'm about to do that, man. Thanks, guys.